I mean, that was about as pathetic a performance as you're going to see in the NFL from a quarterback, and his lack of opportunities and some drop passes. Darius Slayton gets it right in the chest and drops another ball. And now all of a sudden, it's funny because I could always tell by, and I always say this, by my Giant fan friends and their reactions to how the team looks on a given weekend. And yesterday, other than some plays by the defense, and Brian Burns has certainly been, one of Joe Shane's crowning achievements here, they're like, all right, now let's trade Jaxson Dart if we get the number 1 pick, and let's go take Fernando Mendoza. I mean, it has gotten to that point, and this is where Jaxson Dart now learns that the NFL is a relentless place, and it takes a while for rookies to really grasp what that means. And all the rookie quarterbacks this year, maybe with the exception of Tyler Shuck, who's actually put together a winning record as the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, including yesterday's Jets win. But that performance yesterday offensively, that was Jet-esque when you think about it. And you're supposed to have a quarterback that you believe in moving forward in the future. But, he really struggled. They struggled. The weather wasn't great. It was windy. It just looked like he was all over the place. And Mike Kafka, when your quarterback looks like a deer in the headlights, is got to kind of work through a game plan that you try to win the game. I mean, they only lost the game 16-13. You're trying to win the game. But his first half performance was nothing. I mean, it really did nothing. It's very hard for a quarterback to do nothing.
I know. I mean, I was just shocked at the numbers. I mean, you're watching the game and then you realize, like, wow, he really hasn't thrown the football. I mean, to have 13 attempts, and I believe he had 6 attempts at the end of the third quarter, and then you had the another 7, I guess, the rest of the game in the fourth quarter. Is just it's mind-boggling.
They just tried to run the ball and control the ball. I don't know. Maybe protect him. I don't know. I have no idea.
Then don't start him if that's going to be the case.
Well, I mean, he's got to start. He's got to play. Whoever the next coach is still got to see more tape on him.
13 attempts.
He had a god-awful day yesterday. If I had to guess, if I just on the sideline, Mike Kafka is looking at a guy that's like, has got the sleepy look. And, Mike Kafka wants to win games too. I mean, but they also, in a weird way, they're competitive because the defense kept it competitive and because, J.J. McCarthy, you can't read a defense.
He ends up getting hurt too, but.
That's what I'm saying, but he can't read a defense.
Did you see the reaction?
Never take a hit like that. Never.
When they did the stress test on his hand, did you see his reaction there? It was another J.J. McCarthy moment.
Yeah, I know.
Where he gets to, whatever, they touch his hand and he jumps as if someone was shooting at his feet.
I'm telling you, Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin
O'Connell cannot be put up with that.
I don't know what is with this guy. I mean, I understand he had 2 good games. Look, I mean, Jesus Christ. Dude, he looks like Bryson DeChambeau when he got hit by the rope back in the day. Remember that? It was so unnecessary.
I mean, it is. That's a whole other story going on there.
But anyway, forget about that.
Deal. But it's a weird deal for the Giants, too. They're going to clean house. And like I keep saying, for Joe Shane, the worse it looks, the worse it is for him, too, I think.
But he can't come back, right? I mean, there's just no way.
I mean.
There's no way he can come back. They
I
have the worst record in the league.
I know that, and it's getting progressively worse. All I could say is that whoever the coach that comes in here next year will hopefully have a healthy Malik Neighbors. Maybe Theo Johnson will learn to catch more balls, off the jugs machine and not drop balls that go through his hands. I doubt Darius Slayton is going to be here next year. His performances, I could think of like 10 different situations where if Darius Slayton just makes a play, the game could be different. I mean, he's been in so many negative plays. It's ridiculous that he's actually even on the field. I don't know how you can trust him. They don't really have anybody else.
I mean, it truly is amazing that where we were with the Giants earlier in the year and killing Philadelphia and leading in Denver, that we sit here this morning with them being worse than the Jets somehow. How are they worse than the Jets? It really is. And for yesterday, a team, if you want to tell me that the Jets are trying to lose because it's a first-year Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and they're throwing Brady Cook out there and everything else, okay, I could totally understand that because you expect those guys to be back. But for the Giants to look like that, play like that, attempt, the offensive just game plan being what it was when none of these guys are going to be here, this might have been one of the more confusing, terrible games that they've played in this horrible stretch. And they only lost by 3, but it just didn't make any sense to me.
4:05 next Sunday on CBS, Giants at Raiders. Are you watching?
Well, yeah.
You have to.
No, you have to especially with us and being interested in the number 1 overall pick and how it affects the Jets, too, by the way. Because if the Giants get it and they want to keep Jaxson Dart, then the Jets are going to want to try to trade with them. And do those two teams make a deal? It's going to be fascinating.
Well, I'll tell you, the Jets are moving up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're number 4 right now.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, at this point, the Raiders actually, the Raiders showed up yesterday, man.
They didn't show up the week before. They showed up yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the Giant defense showed up.
They did, yeah.
And Brian Burns certainly showed up. He's had a terrific year for the Jets.
But the Raiders' offense showed up too. He had that big play from Geno Smith to Ashton Genty. I mean, they were hanging in there, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. The Raiders are a weird team. I mean, so are the Houston Texans, who I still think are a really good football team. And hey, week-to-week league, human beings, guys get hurt. I mean, like New England had 7 guys get hurt in last night's game, and somehow they are one of 3 teams that come back from 11 points down in the fourth quarter. The Detroit Lions almost did it.
That was the ending of that game.
Crazy ending. And it all started with, the Rams at Seattle on Thursday night.
Yeah. I mean, this was a wild week. And
how about the Bears and Packers?
Yeah, what an ending there.
How about Caleb Williams, man?
Those 2 games the Bears and Packers played were 2 of the best regular season games all year. I mean, those are awesome football games. And, yeah, Caleb Williams come a long way. Just shows you that right coach it means everything for a guy that's got talent. He went from this immature, sort of strange, having no idea what the hell he was doing out there to a guy who has harnessed that talent and looks like he's about to take his team to heights they haven't seen in a very, very long time.
His arm strength is so evident now, where he's playing confident, and you're right, man. The coach has had such an impact on him. And you remember when he was saying in the offseason, the previous coaching staff didn't sit down and watch film with me. I thought that was a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I thought, he got caught in a quagmire in Chicago, but you have no reason to be drilling your previous coaches that are bringing you in as a rookie quarterback when you have really no idea what you're doing, and they're trying to teach you, and you're not learning for whatever reason. And as that season really started to unfold, you knew the coaching staff was gone, and you just had a feeling that Ben Johnson was going to be that guy. Well, I would say that the Giants are exactly in the same position as the Bears and the Patriots. I believe they have their quarterback of the future, no matter what happened yesterday and how bad it was. But I believe they have their quarterback of the future. Now they got to hire that right coach that is going to spur this guy on to becoming what Caleb Williams and Drake may have become.
Yeah, it's just not as easy this year in the hiring cycle as it was last year, because even before these guys had these seasons, we talked about how those were good hires. Everybody wanted Ben Johnson. He turned down jobs a year before. When he chose the Bears, I mean, they were going crazy how happy they were to get Ben Johnson. Mike Vrabel was someone that a lot of people wanted, including the Jets, had success in Tennessee. We know how the history of the Patriots there. And then they bring Josh McDaniels in, who's, as a head coach, horrible as an offensive coordinator, a borderline Hall of Fame coordinator. So as you try to recreate that in this offseason, and this is not a second guess, this was a first guess when these hires were made. This wasn't like, do you think these are bad hires and they worked out good? Everybody lauded those hires and they worked out. What's the hire that everybody lauds in this hiring cycle?
I mean, like when the Jacksonville Jaguars hired Liam Cohen and he did that Duval.
Yeah, that would be one where you're like,
oh
sounded
my God.
horrible.
Well,
yeah.
Dave Canales down in Carolina, same thing.
Right.
I don't necessarily know that the Carolina Panthers were all jacked up and excited. His name was obviously, coming from Tampa, associated with Baker Mayfield's his great season. Then Liam Cohen followed that up with a great season with Baker. And then both of those guys ended up going to places where there were young quarterbacks that had not really figured it out yet. And then both of those guys have had immediate impacts on their quarterbacks. And this Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence thing is looking great.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge win for them.
So what my point being is that like as weird as Liam Cohen was when he first started at Jacksonville and everybody made fun of that press conference, it's actually turned out that he has had the same effect on Trevor Lawrence that Ben Johnson and Josh McDaniels, or Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, have had on their respective quarterbacks at their cities, in their cities. So that's why whoever this guy is that comes in here now, could be a defensive guy, don't get me wrong, could be a defensive guy that brings a top-end offensive coordinator with him, a younger offensive coordinator. That could be the case. I mean, people are talking about Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. That could be a real thing.
And there's going to be coaches out there that are great offensive coordinators and it didn't work out as head coaches, like Mike McDaniel, like Kevin Stefanski. I mean, maybe, it's tough, though, bringing in a guy who's a head coach. And let's say it's Marcus Freeman for 1 second. So it's the first time that he's an NFL head coach, and now he's bringing in a guy who has been a head coach to be his offensive coordinator. You got to really have some confidence in yourself that you're not going to get shivved by that guy. And I don't know if he's got any relationships with guys like that, but that's what I would want to see. If they hire someone like Marcus Freeman, I'd love to see one of these former head coaches that it didn't work out, like Josh McDaniels, be the offensive coordinator for Jaxson Dart. And Stefanski and McDaniel are two of those guys right off the bat.
Yeah. If either one of them, I don't know what's happening with Kevin Stefanski out in Cleveland, but I read this morning and I keep reading where it seems like they're going to keep Mike McDaniel down in Miami.
I don't know how you after yesterday. I don't know how you do. Like, they won those games and then he sat down Tua. It looked like he took control of that thing, but yesterday it looked like the benching of Tua led to that team not caring.
Yeah, it felt personal. Like there was something going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is between Tua and Mike McDaniel, but Quinn Ewers looked way in over his head. Yeah, and that's against a Bengal defense that's one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, and a team that the previous week looked like they didn't want to play. So at least they got that figured out for 1 week.
Well, here's the thing I can tell you. Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. Andy Reid's not going anywhere. The guys that you got to start thinking about in terms of job security would be, of course, Cleveland, Cincinnati. We already know that Tennessee is open. The Giants are open. And there's probably maybe the Raiders may end up being open. If they decide to go, if they end up with the number one pick and go Fernando Mendoza, they're going to need somebody in there who knows what the hell they're doing offensively.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza going to Las Vegas would be a nightmare for the Jets. I mean, they need the Jets. I've talked about it before. The personality that the next Jet quarterback needs to have either is like the chip on the shoulder, Baker Mayfield, F you all, I'm going to do everything I can to win a game, or someone like Fernando Mendoza that actually believes that he could fly. Like he believes if he tried to fly, he could do it.
He's kind of like the Antichrist. I mean, not the Antichrist. He's actually not the Antichrist. He is anything but the Antichrist is what I meant. He's the opposite. Exactly what they need. Exactly what they need.
Digital's going to clip that and put that out there. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza's Boomer says Fernando.
He's the opposite of that.
I got you. No, it's just funny.
Oh, man.
I was like, what? Did I just hear that correctly?
He is overly positive.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why it'd be a great fit for the Jets. But yeah, so a couple more weeks to go, and we'll see what happens. But it's just amazing. The Jets have been so bad, and the Giants have been worse. The Raiders have been worse. The Browns have been worse. But we'll see how the winning percentage shakes out.
I mean, the Browns played tough yesterday, and I got to give it to Shedeur Sanders. He had his right pinky nail ripped off.
Ah.
Right, and that's his throwing hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's one of the reasons why he was unable to throw the ball down the field deep and spend it most of the day just dropping balls off and taking, what the Buffalo defense was giving him. But, playing under those circumstances is not easy. I know the kid is he's a lightning rod, whatever you want to say. But he definitely has the bravery and courage to play in this league. He's just got to speed it up.
Yeah.
He's got to get going. He's got to, stop holding on to the ball. But he's got the courage, man. He is not – I don't feel like he's intimidated.
No.
A couple of these guys you watched yesterday, these young kids, whether it be Brady Cook or, or Quinn Ewers. You could see
you got to throw Jaxson Dart in there too yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean Jaxson didn't have enough. He threw 13 times.
Yeah, but I mean when he did, he just looked terrible. I mean, you said it. He looked like a deer in the headlights, and he had that look about him.
Yeah,
I mean, he was. If you want to talk about intimidated, it felt like that.
He's probably going, how many games have we got left?
Yeah,
we still got to play 2 more games. Yeah. I mean, it's a long season, and they got to, they got to get used to it, and they will, and he will, and he'll come back, and he'll be better next year. He'll be ready to go right out the gate. He's going to have to learn a new offense, and hopefully it's something that he's familiar with. But it was a really unfortunate performance yesterday. He didn't have many opportunities, but even. That there were 13 attempts, but there were other attempts, but either ended up with him running it or getting sacked.